Laura, the pet sitter calling from LA. Sorry, Laura. We have all kinds of fun lined up here today.
I get it. That's awesome. Hey, that's very well. No problem. I'm conversing.
And all right. So, but yeah, Laura, she's an LA pet sitter. She's the author of The Pet Sitter's Tale, pioneering dog walking business in Hollywood for over 15 years. Thanks for joining us on Animal Talk today.
I'm really glad to be on, Jamie. Thanks for having me.
So we wanted to talk to you a little about spring is in the air. And it's a time of year people bring new pets into their home. And we wanted to talk a little bit about introducing a new puppy into the house and some of the important things to keep in mind as we bring those new pets into the house. And what are some things as a pet sitter you see as a common problem when people try to bring a new pet into their home?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, the first thing is a lot of people just go out, they fall in love with the dog, and they're like, oh, I'm bringing it home to surprise my whole family. It'll be great. And they don't really think that through because, you're going to have supplies for the puppy. You're going to have reactions from the people in the house, and you're going to have to do a lot of work. It's not just all warm and cuddly after that initial, meet and greet, and you're so happy and everyone's tail's wagging, but then you have a real live being that you have to take care of and train and pay for and all that good stuff. So I think, definitely planning, definitely do some planning. So before you go out and bring that adoptable pet home, make sure you have all the supplies that you're going to need and make sure everyone is on board and make sure that someone, usually I say someone is mom, usually that person, mom, has the time and really the energy to commit to this pet project because pets, especially newborn pets and puppies, they take up a lot of time and they need you. They need you during those first couple years, especially while they're being potty trained and while they're learning basic obedience commands and while they're kind of figuring out how to be good citizens and, become part of the family.
Absolutely. So we talk a lot about the right time to bring the pet home. And so many people get a pet, it's like as like a Christmas present. And it's like, as far as a family goes, it's got to be the worst time of year to do a pet because, everybody's off on a holiday schedule. The house is decorated, furniture is in a different place than it normally is. And then you have the pet there for 2 weeks, and then everything changes. People are gone for 12 hours at a stretch.
Right.
It's so unsettling. So is spring a good time to bring the pet in? Is there a particular time of year that you would recommend that people bring the pet in?
You know what? Anytime you can adopt a dog, I think, is a good time. And you know what? Holidays are not ideal for anyone.
Right, sure.
But, spring is excellent. Spring is a time, we call it the puppy season because, there are a lot of puppies right now. And it is a good time because the weather's starting to get better. People have already rebounded from the holidays for the most part, and they're looking at, summer. And it's a great time to get outside with your pet, get them leash trained, get some exercise yourself. And so I think spring is ideal, but really no bad time as long as you take the right steps. So you're right. I change my furniture around when the holidays are here, but, I've had my dog now for so long, he doesn't even notice.
Yeah.
So, I think that dogs can be pretty easygoing, and, moving around the furniture probably isn't going to freak them out that much, but going from having people around all the time to then nobody, that could be stressful. So you want to really kind of plan for that and maybe stagger your schedule so that doesn't happen to the pet and it doesn't freak them out.
So there's the question of you have this new critter that you're going to eventually need a walker for. We'll get to that. But you're training them. Where do you fall on using a crate?
Oh, definitely encourage it. Encourage crating because, crating is not cruel. It's kind of necessary, especially in the very beginning when you have a puppy or a younger pet or maybe a new pet who's just got real anxiety issues. And for the pet, in their mind, they're thinking, well, now they're in charge of this big house or this whole unknown area that they've got to sort of manage. So when you provide that crate for them, that's really a den-like setting. That's supposed to make them feel good. So that's not cruel and that's not a punishment, but that is a tool for you to use to help that dog ease into, life with the family and also teach them potty training.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the one of the biggest tasks is getting that potty training going. You got any tips for that? What's a good way to, when you're working with a crate and trying to get that potty training going, what would you suggest a new pet owner do?
It can seem like it's going to last forever, right? I mean, I go through this every year. People get a puppy and they're like, oh, they seem to get it and then they don't get it. Well, the key to that is really consistency. So before you put your pet in the crate, you want to make sure that crate is the warm, peaceful place that the pet likes to go into. So, make it warm and cozy. Put a pillow down in there. Put a blanket down in there. Put the dog's bed in there. Mm-hmm. Get a couple of toys in there that the pet really likes, and those are the crate toys. And then one thing that I do, which is really, really, it's so useful, is a lot of dogs are food and treat motivated. So
very much so.
Right. Yeah. So every time you put your pet in the crate, give them a little treat. Don't give them the regular treats. Give them the treats they love, the high-value treats. So now, like my dog, he's crate trained. In the morning, he just runs in the crate, and he just stays there for a second. He just, associated with going in the crate with getting the good treat.
Of course.
So that's what you want to do. So you want to have these positive associations. So make the positive association that your pet going in the crate is an awesome thing, and then make sure you're getting them enough time to get out and do the potty and take them right to their potty place. Don't stretch it out too much. If you can get your pet out, every couple hours, that's ideal.
So actually, I have a question. This is Matt Fox, and how are you this evening? Thank you for being on Animal Talk.
How are you, Matt? I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. One of the things that my wife and I have always talked about, and when we've had dogs in the past, we like to use, and you had mentioned earlier about teaching dogs commands. So do you like to do verbal commands when you're pet sitting, or do you like to do more hand commands, or is it a combination of both? What would you consider to be a acceptable way to train a dog?
Well, excellent question. I do both. So I do the hand commands with the verbal, and then eventually the dog should get away from having to see the hand command and just hear the verbal.
Okay.
Now, another thing that people do out here really successfully is they clicker train, especially in the beginning.
Yep.
So they click train, and then that goes away, and then you have the hand along with the verbal, and then the hand goes away, and then it's just the verbal. So any kind of training you're doing, the key, again, is being consistent.
Okay.
Like, be consistent with the hand command, be consistent with the word. So if you're saying off and your wife comes along and says don't, it's confusing.
Dog is like,
so
don't
you
off.
have to be consistent.
Yeah.
What?
You got to speak the same language. You need the same vocabulary. You really do. Maybe even make a list and put it on the fridge, the list of the vocabulary that you plan to use with the pet.
Yeah.
just so even the kids and everybody gets into it. Yep.
It's true, because otherwise the dog just thinks, wait, my name is either don't or off.
But Dad, my name is...
Laura, you're in L.A., correct?
I'm in L.A., and I'm just right outside of the city in a little suburb near Calabasas.
Laura, no one told you that nobody walks in L.A., apparently nobody. Sorry, bad. I'm all about the bad puns. That's all I got in my life, really. But you never get subjected to that, do you? But so you have a pet care company, a dog walking business. Your dog's best friend. What kind of services do you offer with your dog's best friend? Are you strictly with canines?
No, we offer services to anyone that has a pet that might be gone for a long time, or even we do overnight. So we do basic obedience dog training, we do private one-on-one dog walking, we do overnight stays in the client's homes, and we do private in-home boarding.
I have 3 kids, so we watch them too.
I have people call all the time. I had people call me once when I first started. She's like, my husband, he's kind of lazy. I need him to lose some weight. If you walked my dog, would you make sure he went along with you?
Oh, wow.
Like that. No.
Oh, my.
Pet sittered.
That's right. So, but being in L.A., there's some people with some extravagant taste. Have you encountered any unique critters? Has anybody? What's the most exotic or unique thing someone has asked you to take care of?
Well, a llama, probably for me, a llama.
Feeding it lots of lasagna.
Yeah.
Careful, they spit.
Eat your lasagna. A llama, that's fantastic. So did you have to walk it or just feed it?
No, just feed and water it.
Right,
It was sweet, kind of kept to itself. But I know pet sitters who take care of all sorts of exotic pets, including like monkeys and a lot of, different reptiles. I took care of a potbelly pig once. They were kind of popular for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
And his name was Misery.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, jeez.
I'm your biggest fan.
Laura, the Pet Sitter's Tale. Where are people going to find the Pet Sitter's Tale?
Okay, so it's on Amazon, and also there's a link for it on my site, which is thepetsitterstale.com. And if you go to my site, you can also sign up for my newsletter, where I send out tips and tricks for puppy training and people want to be dog walkers or how to hire a great pet sitter.
Okay, so what else is that? Is that all the information that's in there? Is like picking? Are there tales that you tell, or are they tips for picking a pet sitter, or is it all of the above? What are they going to find in the book, The Pet Sitter's Tale?
The book is a collection of my wackiest experiencing walking dogs out here in LA.
Nice.
So celebrity interactions to dogs that are kind of spoiled and taking care of, pets at wrangling them at weddings and painting poodles' nails. And, when it comes to the inevitable end of a pet, like what are best practices. So there's a little bit of everything in there. There's some business savvy tips if you want to grow a pet sitting business. And then there's a lot of tips for pet owners. And it's mostly storytelling and just like I kind of mentioned, the craziest things that ever happened out here. It's kind of a fun book.
I think I heard you say painting poodles' nails.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I heard. Okay, I want to make sure I heard that right. That's awesome.
What is your favorite?
I heard that right.
What's your favorite story from the book? What's your favorite one in there?
I have so many of my favorite stories, but, the crazy thing is that people are obsessed with what their pets eat. Like, nutrition is a big thing. Mm-hmm. And so people have chefs out here that prepare food, just right for their own diets or for their specific dietary needs and according to their taste, if they're vegan, they're vegetarian, they're keto, whatever. And so that tends to extend to their pets. So, I have people who are giving me, precise directions on how to prepare food for their pets, involving buying certain ingredients from, specific markets and warming cooking and then, doing all these things for a pet that, I've seen your dog eat hot dogs. So, just mostly cooking things and just people dressing up their pets and closing down spas so pets can get paw parties and just over-the-top treatment of regular animals.
Huh. Is there a story that isn't in the book that you're like, I should have put that one in there? Now that I'm thinking about it, what didn't make the cut that now you're thinking about it? It's going to be in volume 2.
Well, I have a client. She's kind of a famous singer and songwriter, and she's on a popular sort of musical show. And she's my client for many years. And whenever she would write a song, she would try out the song by having me sing it to her dog every time I fed the dog, just to see if the dog kind of liked it or would eat to it or not.
I like that one.
That's pretty good.
All right, so you say you have a couple celebrity clients. Is there anybody who has that you can tell us about, right? Client confidentiality, but is there somebody you can tell us about who has a pet that you wouldn't expect, right? Is there somebody that has a pet that was unique, or somebody you encountered with a unique pet, a celebrity?
I have to say, for me, one of my biggest clients was Dr. Dre, and I think he had a tiny little miniature French poodle.
Love it.
I wouldn't expect that, but I think people would expect a pit bull or Great Dane or some kind of real big guard dog, but he had a little French poodle named
He's
Keisha.
A teddy bear. Dr. Dre's a teddy bear.
Right, gangster all the way.
All right, Laura. Thanks so much. That website's pretty much the title of the book, and that's thepetsitterstale.com, and they can find out about you and about your pet sitting service and everything there, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's all on the site. And check me out on Twitter, too. And, of course, I have Facebook and all that good stuff. I was
going to say, you're on the Facebook, and...
I'm on the Facebook. I always forget to plug Facebook. There's so many social media things to attend to. I always feel like, oh, gosh, I should have said this or I should have said that. But, yes, all that good stuff. If you're looking for me, just go to the Google. You'll find me.
You're on the Instagram as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. Laura, thanks so much for being with us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and it's been great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
All right, you have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye, guys.
All right, bye-bye.